to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Alicia Baumgardner's expressed desire to share the ring with Amanda Serrano, undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. She anxiously wants to tap Amanda Serrano's chin. Amanda Serrano, who recently inked a pact with the PFL to participate in their MMA Super Fight League. If the stars and the moon align correctly, Baumgardner will have her wish granted. And if the two officially lock horns in the center of the ring, not only does the undisputed super featherweight champion believe she'll take care of business against Serrano, she's confident it will happen before the sound of the final bell. Baumgartner's pontification didn't simply come out of nowhere. For years now, the hard-hitting star has studied Serrano's every move, from the way she throws her left hook to how aggressive she is. Alicia believes that she has Amanda Serrano's number. Amanda and Alicia are in very different places in their careers, and I've often talked about that Alicia is peaking, whereas Amanda may be approaching the end. One of the most accomplished fighters to ever lace the gloves up, much to the chagrin of many. I don't believe this fight will happen. I believe that Amanda's ready to move on after 14 years in the sport of boxing. She wants to do new things. Amanda gets hit too much. I can see us exchanging punches. I see a 3-punch combination, and one of them punches is gonna tap her. Lights out. I think we'll be left wondering who would have won this fight between Amanda and Alicia, because I don't expect it to take place. I wonder if Amanda will squeeze in one more fight, just one more fight, before this year is out and before her PFL MMA career kicks off. I mean, she has time to do it, but she's not pressed for time or strapped for cash. So if she wants to take the rest of the year off, she actually can, and some people aren't going to like that, but you can't please everybody. Now, perhaps her final fight before her PFL contract kicks off may come against one of her mandatory challengers, of which there are 4. Being in possession of all the alphabet titles at featherweight, there's a mandatory in the queue for every single one of those belts. By way of the WBC, there is Mexico's own former WBA champion, Erica Cruz, the aunt of Isaac Cruz. Striking similarities between their methodology. Erica's a pressure fighter, so is Isaac, very hook-happy, hook-heavy. Erica Cruz seems to be in position by way of the World Boxing Council, by way of the World Boxing Association. Southpaw, Germany's own Southpaw, Nina Menke, is in position. She's the number 1 contender. So maybe Nina ends up challenging Amanda straight away, or maybe Nina plays the waiting game, waits for the WBA title to become vacant so she can fight for it then, perhaps against former champion Jelena Marjanovic, who's been getting long in the tooth and showing it. Fight with Jelena's a lot more winnable fight than a fight with Amanda. So if you're Nina Menke, perhaps you want to play the waiting game by way of the WBA, by way of the WBO. Argentina's own Brenda Karen Carabajal is the interim champion and waiting in the queue for her shot at the real deal, Amanda Serrano. It's my understanding that Brenda is supposed to be returning to action very soon. She's got a fight lined up. It's by way of the WBO, by way of the IBF. Denmark's own former IBF champion, Sarah Mahfoud, is the number 1 contender. Amanda Serrano's already been there and done that with Sarah Mahfoud. I don't get the sense that Sarah wants a rematch, that she wants to run it back with Amanda. She might play the waiting game the same as Nina Menke, who's ranked at number 2 by way of the IBF. Sarah Mahfoud's already been there and done that with Nina Menke. Nina herself is already ranked at number 1 by way of the WBA. Not sure she cares too much about where the IBF has her. And ranked at number 3 is Erica Cruz. Number 3 by way of the IBF, but number 1 by way of the WBC. I'm not sure we get a fight between Sarah Mahfoud and Erica Cruz. Now, Sarah Mahfoud versus Sky Nicholson, who's ranked at number 4, Matchroom's own Sky Nicholson. You know, Sky, she's been talking a good one, talking about trying to get Amanda Serrano in the ring. In truth, I don't think she's ready for Amanda, and I don't think she ever will be. I mean, just based on the lay of the land and how things are now. But she might be ready for Sarah Mahfoud. And I could see a fight like that happening for what could be a newly vacated title, namely the IBF. This is the lay of the land currently at 126 pounds. Now, maybe Amanda fights one of these fighters in a final defense of her undisputed crown. That's if she wants to. She doesn't really have to. I just do not see that Alicia Baumgardner fight. And based on how things are now, you get a good sense of what 126 might look like after Amanda decides to go all in with the PFL. Who might pick up a belt, who might not, and what their problems are going to be thereafter.
They're mandatories.
Talked about Sky Nicholson versus Serrano for what could be a newly vacated title. Whoever wins that fight might have to contend with Tiaria Brown. Tiaria, who's been very vocal about getting Sky Nicholson in the ring, but Sky won't oblige her. Sky won't give her the time of day. Depending on what happens and how the cookie crumbles, Tiaria might not leave her with much of a choice.
Something to think about.
But you know, that's how things might break down after Amanda decides to go all in with the PFL and potentially vacates all of her alphabet titles. After 14 years in the sport of boxing, 2 Guinness World Records, a 7-division, current reigning undisputed featherweight champion, there's just not that much left for her to do.
I won't begrudge her wanting to move on.
Though some might, because they would like to see her share the ring with Alicia. I myself, I'm not holding my breath.
I don't think it goes down, and if it does, it's gonna cost Eddie Hearn a lot of fucking money.
Now the news, a situation at super featherweight I've been keeping an eye on, but now that the dust has settled, we get the chance to talk about it, give it a look. Oshaki Foster's upcoming fight with Hernandez. Matchroom has won the purse bid for it by
about $466,666.
most of which is going to get pocketed by Oshaki Foster. Matchroom Boxing has secured the rights to the Oshaki Foster versus Eduardo Rocky Hernandez fight.
Not surprising.
A winning submission of $466,666 was placed by Matchroom during a purse bid hearing held Tuesday as part of the WBC's Martes de Café weekly meetings at its Mexico City headquarters. 10% of the bid, $46,666, will be placed in escrow as a winning bonus. The remaining 90% will be split 75-25 in favor of Foster as the defending titleist.
That's that much more incentive to not just participate, not just take part, but win the fight.
For taking part, for just defending his title, Oshaki Foster stands to make a decent purse as far as super featherweights go, something like $315,000. Tack on another $46,000, and that's a nice chunk of change, if I do say so myself, for a fighter that's talented, but doesn't really have that much marquee value or that big a following.
Not yet.
The bout will mark the first title defense for Foster, who won a vacant title in a 12-round decision over WBC featherweight titleist Ray Vargas. Foster, who hails from the greater Houston area, prevailed in his first career title fight by scores of 119-109, 117-111, and 116-112 in February of this year.
If you didn't take in that fight, you can just tell by the judges' scorecards that it was a lopsided affair, an ill-fated attempt to become a champion at another weight for Ray Vargas. He was already a 2-division champion, having been a champion at 122 and 126.
Shortly after becoming a champion at 126, a 2-division champion, he decided he wanted to try to become a champion at 130.
That didn't work out.
Both boxers entered the night aware that the winner would be on the hook to make not one, but 2 mandatory title defenses. Vargas unsuccessfully moved up in weight, but was permitted to retain his WBC featherweight title. Foster extended his current 10-fight winning streak, which came at a point when he was freed from his previous contract with the now defunct Probellum.
Now, Matchroom didn't bid on this fight for no reason. It just so happens that Eduardo Rocky Martinez is one of their more recent signees. He, like Oshaki Foster, was linked to Probellum before they went under.
Mexico City's Hernandez was also with that same promotional company but had to go the legal route to avoid being stuck with its rebranded outfit now known as Disrupt Boxing. The veteran contender was vocal in his frustration over the manner in which his contract was merely handed over to the group who purchased Probellum without his knowledge or consent. We talked about that here on the channel.
And if you happen to catch Rocky Hernandez's last fight, which took place as part of a Matchroom show, you'll know he's a talented young fighter with a solid record. 34 wins with just 1 loss, 31 knockouts. This guy's a puncher, and he's more adequately suited to challenge Oshaki Foster for that title than Ray Vargas was.
But he had that entire situation with Probellum and Disrupt Boxing to sort out. The move was met with claims from Hernandez that Probellum denied favorable offers made by Matchroom, which has housed his last 3 starts. The 25-year-old knockout artist broke free, proceeded with his career, which has since included a 3rd-round knockout of his countryman, Hector Garcia, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic's Hector Garcia, the current reigning WBA champion at 130, on July 7th in Monterrey. Overall, Hernandez has won 6 in a row since a July 2019 stunning first-round knockout loss to Roger Gutierrez, who went on to win the WBA title, subsequently lost it.
Roger did.
It's neither here nor there. All 6 of Rocky Hernandez's wins, since having suffered that knockout loss in 2019, all 6 of them have come by knockout, and he has yet to see the 7th round of a fight.
This is encouraging for more reasons than one. This is encouraging because it gives us a solid fight at 130 pounds. That's what Hernandez versus Foster is. It's actually a solid fight, really good fight.
Rocky Hernandez has a hell of a lot more firepower at 130 pounds than Ray Vargas did. O'Shaquie Foster definitely looked the part with Ray Vargas, but it's safe to say that Ray was not acclimated to that weight when he decided to move up there and fight for that newly vacated WBC title.
He ain't got the punch that Rocky Hernandez has, so O'Shaquie Foster may have his work cut out for him. Better still,
if Rocky Hernandez can pull this off and become the WBC champion at super featherweight, that's good news, because that gives Matchroom yet another champion at that weight. Don't forget, they've got the Welshman, Joe Cordinia, this division's IBF champion. If they can have 2 champions at the same weight, they can make a unification match.
that's if Rocky wins.
If Rocky loses and O'Shaquie Foster successfully defends the WBC title, O'Shaquie is a free agent. He's a network free agent. He's a promotional free agent. If he stays WBC champion, what's stopping Matchroom from signing him?
Could add another champion to their stable just like that.
Bring us one step closer to a unification match between Joe Cordina and one of these fighters, whoever wins. So it's good news for more reasons than one. Foster versus Hernandez, that's a good fight. That's a good scrap. But beyond that fight,
More fights to be made.
finally in men's heavyweight news, Frank Warren says, Fury versus Ngannou. This is the biggest event he has ever put on. Elated that his fighter gets to do something of some significance, some substance, at least in his own mind. Not significant to the sport of boxing, but significant to his bank account.
Right.
This is going to be massive, a massive event, and the marketing they've spent is something that's going to make your eyes fall out. This is huge. It will be a huge event, the biggest event I've ever been involved in.
Most people are still convinced that all this time, it was never Tyson Fury's intention to face Alexander Usyk. And as far back as the Dillian White fight,
This was the plan the whole time. Fool people into thinking that Usyk botched the deal when immediately after the Dillian White fight, Tyson Fury bought Francis Ngannou in the ring.
didn't he?
Can somebody show me the offer that Tyson Fury turned down for this fight? Where is it? I've never seen it. Where is the offer that he's turned down?
From the Saudis.
There is no offer for this year. Moreover, Frank Warren questioned why Anthony Joshua didn't seize the opportunity to fight Tyson Fury, given that he had been offered a 60-40 deal. Why didn't he do it? He's already been beaten by Usyk twice. We offered him that fight again. It's Eddie Hearn, as usual, adding another 6 inches to his nose. Anthony Joshua himself chimed in on Fury versus Ngannou, saying, "It's a massively frustrating situation for the people waiting in line. Those ranked by the WBC paying sanctioning fees in the hope that they'll get the chance to challenge Tyson Fury."
And instead he's doing this. He's boxing a guy that I never boxed before.
Not frustrated by that because I've been a champion and I know my process and I'm on this rebuilding phase. But I can understand for people waiting in line, it must be massively frustrating because to become a champion for some people is the be-all and end-all. That's all they want to do. And then they can pack up. Obviously, there would have been a rematch between Usyk and Fury, but that could have all been done and dusted this year and the belts would have been broken up and people will be able to get their opportunity. As it stands,
Daniel Dubois getting his opportunity.
the winner of this weekend's fight between Philippe Pergovic and Dempsey McKean for IBF mandatory status, the winner of that fight may get their opportunity at Alexander Usyk.
What about Fury? What about all those guys ranked in the WBC's ranked standings?
Feel sorry for people who want to know where they are going in their career, but Fury has to do what Fury has to do for him. I admire the guy for his confidence to do what's right for him. He has an F-it mentality. I think we all need a bit of that in today's society.
Says Anthony Joshua.
But it's not just fuck it. It's not just fuck it. It's fuck the sport of boxing, fuck whoever's ranked by the WBC, fuck whoever deserves a title shot.
Fuck the people that want to see you fight Alexander Usyk, fuck Alexander Usyk, and fuck Undisputed. No, it's not just fuck it.
Anthony Joshua continued, if you want to hold him accountable, then yes, he should be fighting active fighters at this current time, and he should wait until the end of his career
For these kinds of circus fights.
when he's not champion anymore to compete with MMA fighters.
What Floyd Mayweather did. I mean, Floyd Mayweather didn't hold anything up in the sport of boxing, anything that was supposed to happen during his career. It was after his career ended that he started holding circus fights of his own, whereas Fury is a sitting champion.
While Frank runs his spin job and tries to lay the blame at the feet of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua for not fighting Tyson Fury, as if Anthony's the only game in town, Anthony was a lot more diplomatic than Zhang. Zhang said, Fury is a disgrace to boxing for facing Ngannou. Shame on him.
He didn't pull any punches like Anthony did.
My team were in conversations with Tyson Fury's team. We were very close to making that fight before the rematch clause was activated, Zhang tells Standard Sport, via free bets. I believe that the fight with Fury is going to happen one way or another. Fury will return to the ring against the most unlikely of opponents when he takes on former UFC champion Francis Ngannou in a cross-spot boxing match on October 28th in Saudi Arabia.
Zhang has got to take care of business against Joe Joyce one more time.
You let Frank Warren tell the story, and it's almost like he's trying to say that the only reason Fury is fighting a fighter that never boxed a day in his life is because AJ wouldn't fight him, as if AJ is the only game in town. There are plenty of other fighters in the WBC's ranked standings and plenty more in the heavyweight division that he could have chose instead of fighting that guy. So if he's fighting that guy, it's because he's not the Spartan he makes himself out to be. It's because he's more of a businessman.
And according to Zhang, when you look at Tyson Fury, he avoided Joshua. He avoided Usyk. He chose to fight somebody who has never been in the ring before.
Ngannou is a novice. He's just turning pro. Yes, he's a UFC champion, and I have respect for him. But when it comes to the ring, it's a different story. So Tyson Fury, I think, is a disgrace to the sport of boxing. Shame on him.
Further accenting that people aren't convinced with Frank Warren and Tyson Fury's cover story. Tyson Fury, who's unsure of the future, saying, who knows how long I've got left?
They don't believe that he was really trying to fight Anthony Joshua because of all the time constraints that he put up. And they don't believe he was trying to fight Alexander Usyk because he made those negotiations near impossible.
They don't believe him.
Now what he's saying is, who knows how long I've got left? Maybe not long. Maybe a year. Maybe 2 years. Maybe one fight. Who knows? One thing I do know is I'm going to enjoy every minute that I have left. Every fight that I have left, I'm taking it all and enjoying it. I want my kids there, my little boys, to walk me out and stuff. And I'm very happy with where I am in my life, that I'm in a position where I can give them this excitement. I think every fighter knows when it's time to walk away.
What have I been telling you? You think this guy's gonna make a fortune in the Ngannou fight so that he can return to the sport of boxing and take risks?
I don't think so. The only way Fury fights for Undisputed, I think, is if Daniel Dubois upsets Usyk, and I don't think Daniel Dubois is going to upset Usyk. So unfortunately for us, Undisputed in this era, it's not going to happen.
But prove me wrong.